Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. Today we are going to talk everything about the ITOps, what the future holds, the how AI and automation are going to change. We'll just wait for 5 minutes until everyone joins and our host joins. Thank you for joining. Hello everyone, thanks for joining again. We are just waiting for a few more minutes so that more people can join us. By the time, why don't you all let me know where you're joining from today? It's so good to see people are joining from different parts. We have people from Hyderabad, Chennai, Dubai, Kolkata, from Bangalore. So, thanks for joining, guys. We'll be just starting in a minute. Thank you for joining us. So happy to see everyone from different parts joining the webinar. So, we'll be starting now. So, we have with us Abhirup, who is working, who has about 18 years of experience with IT operations. So he'll be taking the session now. Thank you for joining us, Abhirup. You can take ahead now.
Thanks, Naima. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I am really excited to have you here for this insightful, hopefully insightful session on the future of IT ops. So, I hope you went through the points which were shared on LinkedIn. So, basically, to give you a gist of it, today we'll talk about the problems and and the solutions with regards to IT ops in the real world. We'll talk about how AI and automation is actually helping organizations to prevent incidents And we'll also discuss about a unified ITOps approach, how it looks like in today's world. Right. So request all of you to stay engaged, ask questions, and get ready as we dive into the future of ITOps. So I will be using a lot of data points for this session today. It has been collected across different sources from very reputed firms like Gartner, Forrester, IDC, IBM, ServiceNow, to name a few. Uh, just keeping you intimated in advance. Okay, so let's start with some discussion in terms of the shift from a traditional to a modern IT ops, right? So, firstly, we will talk about the growing complexity of hybrid and multi cloud environments. Okay. So, we all know that today we are living in a world where organizations are using a multi cloud approach. Now, to be more specific, I think as you can see from the slide, there are 92% enterprises who are actually adopting a multi cloud approach. So what does this mean? So basically, this talks about a mix of on-prem, public cloud, and even private cloud, where the data is getting stored and there are different types of compute happening across different workloads spread across these different types of clouds. Now it's making the work very flexible, but it's bringing more complexity also into the picture. So as per certain reports, there are almost 70% of firms report struggling with multi cloud complexity. There are different types of tools that are required to manage or monitor each cloud. There are different kinds of processes and standards that have been set. So it becomes a bit tedious for the human beings in these organizations to actually manage these multi cloud environments. And then we also see a 69% increase in cloud sprawl. So if I just compare it with, I think just a couple of years ago, most organizations had just one cloud, right? So, but in the last couple of years, the shift has been pretty fast, where now organizations are having, two plus clouds, public clouds, up from one in the just last couple of years. So this rapid expansion illustrates why monitoring and management and security across such hybrid environments have become very difficult and challenging for these organizations. Now let's look at why do legacy IT operations struggle, right? So first and foremost, manual processes. So 61% of organizations, they're still relying heavily on manual procedures for their day-to-day tasks, right? So two major disadvantages. First is definitely slower response times, and secondly, which is also a very important point, it can lead to a lot of human errors, right? And second is tool sprawl. So nowadays we see organizations, I think if we take a generic point of view, a large enterprise will have around 10 to 12 monitoring tools spread across different domains, just to ensure the systems are running fine and performing in an efficient manner. So this leads to a kind of a siloed data points and a swivel chair approach. So swivel chair approach is basically like, where you are doing the same job or you're just entering the same data across multiple platforms or multiple screens by just swiveling in your chair. That's where the term came from. So this is kind of making it very difficult for the IT operations manager or the IT manager to keep everything in check. Finally, there is a big cost to pay for any downtime that happens, right? So when incidents aren't resolved quickly, the business pays the price. So as per our analysis or certain reports that we have come across, studies say that just an hour of a downtime can cost around $300,000 for a mid to large organization, for a mid-sized organization, I'll say. For large organizations, it can go to more than 500K plus. So that's the amount of direct impact or a negative impact it is creating on the business of certain organizations when it comes to downtime. Now, what role does AI and ML play in IT operations? Right. So, first and foremost, boosting efficiency and cutting costs. So, 70% improvement has been observed in IT operational efficiency improvement across different enterprises and organizations by the adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning into their IT operations. There has been a marked 30% reduction in operational costs within a year of implementation. So, this is something which has given quick returns to companies. They need not wait for a 5 year ROI. They have been able to see improvements of around 30%, which is pretty massive within a matter of 12 months or a year. Right. Then faster incident resolution. So definitely. So when you talk about how we can increase the speed at which we are taking care of issues or challenges, yes, there is a marked decrease or a 25% drop in the MTTR. So which is basically almost a quarter, exactly a quarter. And it is again not across 3 years or 5 years. It is happening within months, right? As soon as you roll out your AI ML based ITOps or AIOps as we call it nowadays, there has been a marked improvement in terms of how we can reduce the total MTR that is required to attend to incidents. And thirdly, proactive problem solving. So basically, what AI and ML is doing, it's helping organizations to uh, change their approach from being a reactive to a proactive or a preventive IT operations. So you no need to wait for problems to happen and then react and figure out how to resolve it. But we are in the age where we can constantly monitor systems, their performance, observe any anomalies in terms of the patterns, and take preventive decisions or actions so that things don't go bad. Right? That's a big change that we are seeing. So this itself can reduce the system downtime by up to 50%, which is again a massive change that we are seeing. Now let's talk about the power of a fully integrated IT operations management solution. So when I say fully integrated, it includes all the modules, be it your IT operations management, IT service management, IT asset management, your configuration management, and so on. Right? So how does a fully integrated IT operations management solution help in today's world? First and foremost, it's a single platform for all ops. So basically, it's a fully or a completely integrated platform which brings in automation, monitoring, and your incident management into a single pane of glass. So, just a simple example, I'll say today, IT service desk technician gets a ticket saying, my laptop is not working. So normally users will just put an incident like that. They will never mention what is the exact problem, right? So the change here from before is he or she need not open up another system or check with someone else in terms of, okay, this is the person who has reported this issue. What laptop does he or she have? And can I get some details about the laptop? Now, what kind of details will he or she need? First and foremost, is it something which is tracked in our inventory data? Secondly, is it under a maintenance contract? Does it have an existing maintenance contract? Is it in-house or is it outsourced to a third-party vendor? So if this service desk in technician has all this data at their finger point, it's much more easier. It makes his or her job much more easier and even faster in terms of getting to diagnose the problem and figuring out what resolution is to be carried out. So that's one of the major benefits of a integrated system. Secondly, it avoids a lot of complexity and unnecessary overhead. So basically, you don't need to look into multiple tools. I gave an example where I said there are 10 tools on average being used by organizations for their IT operations monitoring and management needs. So it removes that complexity. You don't need to really look at 10 different portals and then take a decision, okay, what to be done, or then you do some manual correlation. So basically you have just one portal. It makes your job simpler because the modules by themselves, they're doing a lot of data sharing between them, so that it eases the workload on the human technician or engineer who's sitting in front of the screen. Thirdly, the benefits of integration. So definitely, as I was saying, when the tools are all integrated or the modules are all integrated in the backend, definitely there's a lot of additional advantages. So from an end user point of view, it is simpler because it's all in a single screen. There's a single license to manage, but also from the tool perspective, in case all the modules are integrated and sharing a common database, there's a lot of scope of data sharing between the modules, which can lead to faster correlation, better or deeper insights in terms of figuring out what is the root cause of any problems that are happening. And there can be a lot of automation done in terms, okay, you get an issue, there can be pre-configured workflows which will try and diagnose or run few scripts and even try to resolve the problem at hand. So simple example, I detect there is a critical service which has gone down in one of my production servers. So maybe it auto triggers a script which tries to restart the service. In case it fails, say 2 3 times, you can again put a configuration for that. uh, Only then it will go ahead and log a ticket for this particular thing, or else 90% or 95% of times the issue is auto resolved, with the logs being kept or audits being kept for users to figure out what exactly happened and how was it taken care of. Now, when we talk about the other benefits, it's also something to do with the enhanced visibility. Now, you're getting a complete visibility across different parts of your IT infrastructure. So this includes your network, your applications, and other components like your compute, your servers, storage, firewalls, routers, switches, even your peripheral equipment like your UPS systems, your wireless devices, IP phones, IP cameras. So basically, it's a single source of truth for you to completely monitor and manage your entire IT infra. So the end-to-end visibility is something which IT managers, CTOs will be really happy with, right? So they get dashboards which gives them specific insights into different parts of the IT infra, but also they get a single portal to kind of have a hawk-eye view or a bird's eye view over the entire operations. And wherever they see there are some causes of concern, they can drill down or go deeper into that particular segment and check for further data points. It also increases the you know speed of troubleshooting, so faster and smarter troubleshooting, because there's no need to manually stitch together clues from different portals and tools. You have all the data points being collected in a single platform at once, which makes your job much more simpler. And definitely this leads to a better decision making, because you now know, okay, there is an issue, but I have data from my network, I have data from my servers, I have data from my other equipment. So it's much easier for me to figure out the root cause and take appropriate actions. So for example, this happened with one of our banking customers, where again they had different network team, server team, storage team, and applications team, and so on. Each team were using their own tools in a silo, working in silos. But the problem happened was there was suddenly there's a huge latency and slowness with one of their biggest or the most critical application servers. And then all the teams gave reports where everything was fine. But although it lasted a couple of hours or so, that caused them a lot of panic and business loss. So in the end, it was figured out there was some application or utility which was installed in a logical drive which had very less amount of free space. So that was the reason which was causing the overall slowness. But when the teams gave their individual reports, the overall storage utilization was hardly 30-40%. The network was fine, the CPU and everything was fine. So every team, as per their individual reports, they were all working fine, but still there was a cause of concern. So these are problems which can get mitigated if you have a completely integrated IT operations management platform. Now let's talk about the simplified management perspective. So there's a common term we use, and I think I've heard about it a lot in the IT world. So they talk about the benefit of having a single entity do multiple things is that there's always either one hand to shake or one neck to choke or one throat to choke. So what it basically means is, I don't need to really figure out who is responsible for this problem. Because the example I gave previously about the bank, there it often, these kind of scenarios often lead to blame games. Networking team says no, everything is fine, it's not our issue. Server team says no, things are fine. Storage team says no, overall disk report utilization is fine, so I don't think it's our issue, better check with the other teams. So, but in case you have an integrated system and a single team which is working on it, it's pretty evident where exactly the problem is. So one neck to choke or one throat to choke or one hand to shake. Then lower costs. So definitely lower costs and lesser overhead in terms of the administration. A single vendor solution can definitely go more cost effective. It's a common business sense, because if you're buying more from one particular vendor. Like in our childhood days, we used to go to one shop, we used to get all our things. Definitely, the relationship between the vendor and the customer will be way stronger, and the vendor will be more inclined to give you more discounts as you increase the total revenue that you are getting from it. Second, operation or the third, operational advantage. Definitely, with a unified suite, everything is designed to work together out of the box. So basically, there will be some initial configurations that need to be done. Workflows need to be set up properly, but once things are set in motion, they work like a charm. It hardly needs too much interference in terms of fixing something, or you don't really need to tamper with the configurations once things are set. The dashboards will be ready. You will be able to get a lot of analytical insights. Your daily, weekly reports, monthly reports will be sent to you in your mailbox or in a folder. So it doesn't really need a constant tinkering or tweaking once the things are set up initially. So these are some of the benefits that you actually get from a unified IT operations management solution. Now, moving forward, let's talk about how we can further leverage AI and ML for proactive IT operations, right? So there are basically four steps. So I will talk about this, all of these four steps a bit more in detail. But just to name them, the first is adopting a modular and phased approach for your AI and ML adoption. Second is predictive analytics for issue prevention, then AI driven root cause analysis, and finally, continuous learning and optimization. Okay. So let's go a bit deeper into each of these, starting with modular and phased AI ML adoption. So, the rule of thumb, or the first thing to do is don't think too much. Start small and then expand. Don't start by trying to do everything with AI and ML. Figure out a scope. It need not be that it is a all or nothing jump, right? The fact is most successful implementations often happen in phases, right? You have a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and so on. So reduce the scope or narrow down the scope and see what is most critical or most important, and put that in the phase 1. So this helps IT teams to have a more targeted and modular approach when it comes to automating their overall IT operations management. Second, very important, learn and adapt. So I think I remember this quote by Mr. Albert Einstein. I'm sure all of you know about him. So he said, intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. So I think what he meant is, there is no end to learning, right? We also need to learn and relearn every day. You know, Technologies which were there, especially in the IT world, even 5 years ago, may not be existing today. So it's a constant learning which will keep you in the game. Right? So it's the same that is applicable to AI and ML. So teams can learn as they grow, and you can do pilot tests on your less critical systems, then iron out the chinks and then apply them onto your more production or your more critical systems that are in place, so that the end results are better. Finally, focus on high value targets. So most CIOs prioritize automating the worst pain points early on. They want to automate their most time intensive operations. So that kind of gives them a lot of time, and once they are able to successfully do that, they are actually able to free up a lot of time and then figure out what to be done in that. So basically, take on the biggest devils first. Now, talking about predictive analytics for issue prevention. So again, basically the what this talks about is how we can move away from a reactive to a proactive or a preventive approach, right? So AI models and machine learning helps you to analyze patterns where it can notify you in terms of any anomalies happening, are there any changes, so that you can take precautions or prevent any unwanted issues or faults from happening, right? I think a best example of this is the we all have heard about this big $1 billion day sales, and how the initial 1 or 2 years, at least the first year I remember, uh, it was a big struggle because the traffic that was experienced during the first day or first hour of a big $1 billion sale was massive, totally unprecedented, and the systems crashed. They were not reachable. But then over the years, or in a matter of few days, they learned about this, and they were able to come up with a plan where they predict the amount of load up front, or they do analysis. Machine learning helps a lot, where they're able to analyze what will be the kind of load that I may experience, and they're able to also scale up dynamically, right? So that's how a preventive or a proactive predictive approach helps organizations. And second is about preventing outages, like by catching the early warning signs, before my link breaks. I am able to figure out there is a problem, or there might be a problem. Like if I constantly am monitoring my utilization levels across critical metrics like my CPU, memory, or say my bandwidth utilization, definitely I can get to a point where I say, okay, now it has been steadily increasing. If we don't take any action now, this is bound to fail. So let's do something to avoid that. Finally, impact on performance. So predictive analytics isn't just about avoiding disasters, it actually helps you to maintain optimal performance or ensure the efficiency is taken care of continually. Now, talking about AI driven root cause analysis. So, basically, we are trying to automate the whodunit or what is the exact problem. I may get a alarm flood of 100 alarms or 50 alarms. So, sometimes even a single configuration line added to a core switch or a router can result in 50 alarms or 100 alarms. But if I have a service desk team which gets 100 alarms, it will be a panicky situation. So there again, automated systems are able to do certain correlations within their systems and highlight or give some indication in terms of, although there are 100 links which are down or 100 devices which are unreachable, this particular link not being up is the parent alarm or the root cause of all these correlated issues. So that's where you need to start digging. Then slashing the time to resolve, definitely. So when I think a good example of this is about Meta or Facebook as it was known earlier. So they developed an AI assisted operation system that filters out a lot of irrelevant events and highlights the actual issue. So the result was 50% decrease in their MTTR, the mean time to resolution. Right. So that's the amount of efficiency improvement or time savings, or which directly leads to cost savings that we are talking about here. And then definitely it improves your IT responsiveness. AI driven root cause analysis definitely will not let IT teams burn out, because if without AI or without pattern learning mechanisms in place, it has to be done by humans, and you can't expect a human being to sit together hours together just staring at a screen and trying to observe some change in pattern. So this will lead to a very quick burnout of those resources. So the systems, once they are configured and trained, they're ingesting a lot of data points, they're understanding the patterns, any changes they're able to highlight. So they're able to guide the teams and even trigger certain corrective actions or preventive actions as and when required. And finally, the continuous learning and optimization. So I mentioned about continuous learning is something which I think every human being should have to do with. This is a no-brainer. But with AI and ML, we are getting into things like self-learning systems. So self-learning basically is the models are not static anymore. The data is no more static. The system keeps learning from the data that is being fed into it. So for again, a simple example can be your ticketing systems or help desk systems or IT service management systems, where you have a problem, you resolve it, you store the resolution or convert the resolution into a knowledge base article. So systems itself learns it, and next time a similar problem comes up, it will try to flash this knowledge base article as a possible resolution for this issue. Maybe the technician or the agent who has resolved the previous issue is not working anymore or he's on leave. But the system learns it and tries to guide the human users to actually help them with suggestions in terms of how to go about solving the problem by self learning. Adaptive and evolving, yes. So this is kind of a feedback loop. For example, in case the artificial intelligence engine, it kind of misidentifies an alert, and a human kind of overrides it and then goes ahead and corrects it, the system incorporates that knowledge to do better next time. So it figures out, okay, there was a problem, I kind of did something which was wrong, so let me learn and ensure in future I do not repeat the same mistake. So that's something that actually helps a lot in terms of refining the systems in future. And then continuous optimization. So basically, instead of the older or the age old break fix cycles, we are talking about ongoing or continuous improvement and optimization. So, as Gartner noted, AI in operations is key to moving from a reactive firefighting to a continuous optimization and improvement of all your IT systems. So, these are the 4 points actually, which are which talk about how AI and ML are leveraging your proactive IT monitoring and management operations. Now, moving to benefits. What are some of the benefits of using AI and ML ITOps? So feel free to, okay, I'll just take a small break. Feel free to drop in your questions in the chat box or the comments window. We do have a question and answer session. We'll reserve some 10 minutes time towards the end of this webinar where I can go through some of those questions and help you out with the answers to them. Okay, now back to what are the major benefits of using an AI ops or a AI and ML enabled IT ops system? First and foremost is minimal downtime and faster issue resolution. Definitely, if we are adopting a proactive approach, we can not only recover from faults, we can prevent most of the faults from happening. So if you see the data here, teams saw monthly issues drop from 350 plus to just 60. So it's almost a one-sixth, right? That's the amount of effect it has when they adopted AI-based auto remediation, which results in very few outages as compared to before. Reduced MTTD and MTTR. So AI and ML can also help detect and resolve problems much faster. So intelligent monitoring can spot incidents 20 times faster, and automated triage and resolution or remediation can cut your mean time to resolve or MTTR by around 50%, which is almost half than it used to take to through the manual processes. Now, secondly, it's about intelligent service desk and security enhancements. So we are talking about AISM. So maybe some of you have heard the term. It's artificial intelligence service management, right? So how ITSM by adopting AI and ML is moving towards AISM. So first and foremost, AI powered chatbots and assistants. So we have all heard about or experienced the Gen AI based chatbots, which are no more the old and boring bots where you used to really get fed up of them. They're not intelligent, they're not able to help you. Nowadays, it's all virtual agents who can handle the routine IT queries, tickets 24 bar 7, freeing up the human staff. And it also can learn from their own the data that is being fed into the systems, learn from their own mistakes, rectify themselves to become more efficient in future. Right? AI driven threat detection and compliance. So, this is again very, very critical. We are in a world where threats are increasing globally. So, smart algorithms can monitor systems in real time to catch any anomalies. So, it's not about detecting after the threat has happened, it's about detecting any anomalies or any changes in pattern so that these can be notified to respective stakeholders and actions or preventive actions can be taken to ensure that there are no problems that are allowed to happen. Next, we are talking about cost savings and streamlined operations. Right. So basically, here it's about how AI ML based IT operations management system can reduce your overall IT management costs. So as per a study by Forrester, I think it showed a 185% ROI and almost $6.6 million in benefits over 3 years by moving away from a traditional manual approach to an AI ops or a AI powered IT operations management platform. Right? So these are huge numbers. Then how it also helps in streamlining your operation. So it can correlate alerts from multiple domains across different equipment, your network device, servers, storage, and then it helps you in reducing the noise. So it tries to filter out the redundant alarms or events which are not really important, and focuses on the root cause of problems. So thus it reduces your alert volume by almost 95% in certain cases, so that the teams or the human beings are not really overwhelmed or overburdened due to the alarm flood that may happen in certain scenarios, right? Okay, now I think is we will talk about Infraon solution, Infraon Infinity, the our own AI and ML powered IT operations management platform, and how it is actually helping customers and users across the globe in terms of improving their approach towards IT operations monitoring and management. So, introducing Infraon Infinity to all of you. Firstly, it's a fully integrated platform with artificial intelligence and machine learning embedded into it, right? So, fully integrated in the sense, as I said initially, also, it has all the modules across your IT asset management, IT operations management, IT service management, then configuration management, but they're all integrated together. So, it's a single tool GUI. For the user, it's very, very simple because it's a single GUI. There is only one license, and there's only one team they need to reach out to, or one vendor they can connect to for any support or help required. And from a tool perspective, again, because it's a single database where all these modules are interacting with each other, it's very, very rich in terms of doing correlation, analyzing patterns, analyzing what are the co- what are the main causes of any problems, and identifying root cause of failures very quickly, right? So it eliminates tool fragmentation. It's a single platform. It provides you with a lot of AI driven insights for predictive analytics and even auto remediation, triggering scripts to auto remediate certain problems. There's a lot of machine learning algorithms working in the backend to help you plan better. So simple things like capacity planning. It compares the last, say, 1 year data to your current usage and checks the growth, and it gives you an assumption. So for the next 1 year, what kind of increase you need to do in terms of your server, say, resource capacities. Can be your memory, your disk sizes, or your CPU utilizations, and even your ISP bandwidth, and so on. So very, very helpful in making business decisions like next year's IT planning. My tool will give me some data to help me plan my next year's IT budget based on the data that is collected across the systems. Right. Then AI powered automation, of course, it reduces a lot of manual workload and improves my IT responsiveness. So instead of juggling multiple disparate tools where I need my networking data from one, server data from another, my service management is completely different platform. Everything is integrated in a single platform so that I can get the crisp data, with a lot of analytical insights and automations built into workflows, which can help me to auto remediate certain problems or faults which are occurring in my IT systems. It helps bring teams together to solve problems. So I spoke about how it is a single tool which has all the modules: your service management, operations management, asset management, configuration. So there may be different stakeholders involved. Asset management, there may be a different asset manager, and there may be a different person who is doing the service management, but they can use this tool as a collaboration platform to troubleshoot problems faster. Right? It's a single unified interface which breaks down silos and allows departments to work together through to achieve a common goal. The final goal is ensuring your IT systems are working optimally and efficiently, which this helps you to achieve. Now, it also helps in terms of understanding the visibility, or getting a visibility into the real time data, and then take actions accordingly. Right. So, team members can literally watch issues unfold together and coordinate responses in one console, so that actions can be taken faster. Decision making is much more simpler than before. So all the tracking, assignment, resolution of issues happens in a single place. Now, what are the core modules? So we spoke about, we introduced the tool Infron Infinity. Now let me go a bit more in terms of what are the major core modules or components of our Infron Infinity ITOps tool. So first and foremost, the IT service management and enterprise service management. So it's a completely, I think it is based on ITIL guidelines, or rather it is certified. So with respect to ITIL V3, uh, I think the tool is having 14 processes which are certified. So these are your incident management, change management, the service catalog, knowledge base management, SLA management. So 14 processes certified. So I think we are globally in the top 10 when it comes to the number of processes that are certified for ITIL V3. Even for the latest version V4, we are having 9 practices that are certified. So the tool will help you to improve your IT practices and processes that are being followed. So that's the first component, the IT service management. Second, IT operations management. So it also has an inbuilt complete IT infrastructure or operations monitoring platform, where it's a single uh, tool, again, a single pane of glass, which will help you to auto discover all the components in your IT network. It can be your network devices like routers, switches, firewalls, wireless controllers, then your compute like servers across different platforms, Linux, Windows, uh, AIX, so on. Then storage devices, even your non-critical infra, say UPS systems, or access points, IP phones, IP cameras, all of them monitored from a single pane of glass. It's completely vendor agnostic. It can be any make and model. The tool will be able to do auto discovery and start monitoring them from a health and performance perspective. Then IT asset management. So again, AI driven asset tracking, complete asset lifecycle management, starting from your initial procurement to the asset retirement. So not only IT operations part or asset management part, but it also has a financial aspect to it, where you can, it has inbuilt algorithms where you enter the initial cost of the asset. It automatically gives you the next 5 year or 7 year depreciation calculation. So what is the current value of all my IT assets, and what will be the cost be after say 5 years. I have the data at my fingertips through this tool. And finally, AI ops and automation. So we have predictive insights built into it, automated workflows built into it, a lot of machine learning based analytics. There are multiple use cases. I spoke about capacity planning. Then there are features like anomaly detection, uh, then alarm suppression, where it can recognize certain alarms which are not really, where the tool manager is not really concerned about these type of alarms, so it can automatically suppress it so that it doesn't come up next time, right? Then from ITSM perspective, there are things like auto categorization of tickets, which reduce human effort a lot. So it tries to understand the context. It's not just keyword based, it's a context based. So it tries to figure out the sentence that has been entered as the ticket subject, or the email that has come to the help desk team, and accordingly it will automatically put it in the respective bucket. Is it a network issue, is it a laptop issue, is it something else? So that is one of the aspects. And second is your auto conversion of a resolution into a knowledge base article. So now, as IT admins or IT technicians, the main job they have is to focus on speed. How quickly can you resolve incidents? So the language they use when they're communicating may not be very detailed, right? It can be very short, specific keywords. Problem resolved. script run, problem resolved. But the tool's AI engine then goes through the entire history of that particular ticket, starting from the issue that was logged to the initial diagnosis that was done, what were the symptoms, what were the certain comments that were added by some human technicians, and finally how it got resolved, and creates a very well crafted and beautiful knowledge base article which can be stored and reference later on whenever similar issues come up. Right? So these are some of the features of using AI and ML in the IT service management platform. So similarly, there are AI algorithms, machine learning algorithms running across the platform, be it for IT operations management, be it for asset management, or even for the IT service management part. So these are all different modules, but they are all integrated in a single bundle. And the best part is, as a customer, if I'm seeing it, I really like the power of the tool. I may be concerned about the cost or the overall budget, because there are so many features built into it. But what if I just need one aspect? Say I just need the IT service management. Maybe I recently purchased a monitoring tool and I don't need the ITOM or the ITAM. So yes, the license is modular. You need not buy everything upfront. You can start with any one component in future, and definitely you will enjoy the power of the integrated modules. So in future, say next quarter or next year, when you're okay to it or you have the required budget, you can go ahead and purchase the other modules and it will be pre-integrated. So that's the beauty of our Infron Infinity. I think that's it. I have come to the end of the my presentation today. So let's open up any questions.
That was really insightful, Abhirup. So we'll just wait for a few minutes. If anyone has any questions, please drop them in the comments. Abhirup will take them up. We have people from like all over the world. It is so nice to
That's
see.
great to see.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining. So feel free, any questions you have related to some of the points we mentioned, related to our own platform, feel free to ask. Thanks Vidu for joining.
You can also contact us. The details are given on the screen. If you have any questions regarding the session, or if you want any personalized demo, you can contact the email ID shown. Yes, we will be sending out the PPT like with in a short time, like after an hour or something. So we'll be sharing the recording and the PPT. You can have a look at it. Otherwise, if you have any particular questions, please feel free to reach out to us. The email ID is shown on the screen.
The PPT is chargeable, right?
Yes.
No,
It will
Plavon,
have.
just joking. I think, yeah, you will get the details soon. Thanks for joining.
Sure. I think
Anybody,
we'll
any questions? Okay, I think no questions. So
yeah, we'll close the session. Thank you so much, Abhirup. It was really insightful.
thanks a lot, Naima, for arranging, and thanks again to all of you who attended this. I hope it was insightful, and feel free. Naima has shared. I think most of you have my contact, or else you can reach out to Naima or our team. Anybody in front, feel free to reach out. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.